Hey guys, yes, I am live now, I think. Am I? Yes, I'm live. Hey guys, I'm back with 999. Let me just send this to my friends so that they can see it. The Nonary Games? The Nonary Games?
The Nonary Game. 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 The Nonary Game.
Okay, yeah, so I want to, so basically what I want to do is I want to find out if there's anything we missed because we were late entering room 3. Anyway,
What? Ow! What?
So is that it? Yes, perfect, okay. So what I wanted to do was see if there was anything that would happen differently if I went through door 3 first. That's door 2. So I guess not? Yeah, so yes, okay. It is. So I'm gonna do... Oh, I'm quiet? Okay, let me turn myself up. Okay, is that better? This is Abe's upper floor.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna skip
Huh?
this dialogue.
Well, we haven't.
Oh, yes.
Enough of this. You first.
It's the same number.
Got it. You're next.
I'll take 7.
What?
Who, me?
All right.
When
I want to go through door number 3.
Nope, you can't.
Huh? Why?
Because it's impossible. If we split ourselves into 3 and
Why?
bracelet numbers for there are 2 combinations that can. That's it. Of course, 2 teams.
I see.
That's right.
That doesn't happen if we go through...
No, they're fine. Option A, have 3, 5, and 4. Option B, 4, 5, and 3. Option C, 3, 6, and 4, 5, and 8. Get 8.
Yeah, the skip button's not working. I've been pressing it and it doesn't do anything. It's just a PNG.
Those are the only 3 options. That's it.
Look.
At least if we want to get all 6 of us out of here.
Wait. But that means 5 and 6 can never be on the same team. If we want all 6 of us to go through a door...
Oh my fucking god, I forgot about this stupid scene. Oh, we
You mulled
separated
it over
for
enough.
5...
Anyway,
you guys
that's
were
the deal.
separated
You've
for
got 2
longer,
choices.
like 5
7.
minutes ago.
You
You'll
can't
be fine.
choose 3. If you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die.
It's not new dialogue.
So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8?
Take the risk. Door 3.
Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3.
What? That's nuts! You've got to be crazy! Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door?
I'm just...
Listen, guys, 3 is my favourite number. Has been since I was a kid. So I have to go door 3. I was regretting not going door 3 as soon as I went through whatever door I went through last time.
I'm just curious about door 3.
That doesn't explain shit!
I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain it to you if you'll just come with me. I'm curious about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me?
What?
Please, just do it.
Happy?
Yeah, thanks. The number 7 has been entered into the red. Next is June. Please touch the red just like 7 did.
Jumpy, what are you trying to figure out?
This is fucking
yep.
hysterical.
I think.
He's gaslighting them into opening the door.
I think I might have found another way out.
What?
What?
Really?
He's fucking manipulating them. Yeah, Cheeky wanted me to play through the entire game from the very beginning, even though this was, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the first thing that I wanted to do was go through door 3.
Now please, June.
Oh, okay.
He's fucking gaslighting these cunts. He's fucking Dude, I can't believe these fucking geniuses fell for this.
Alright, the only people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus.
So, what's your point?
You don't get it. Think about it.
Huh?
What's the sum of your number and Clover's?
12.
And what's the digital root?
3.
Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the number that's current?
7 plus 6 plus 5 equals 18.
Yes, and what will the...
3. The door's number.
There you go.
Hey, wait a minute. What the hell are you up to?
Dude, look at his brain.
I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting.
Waiting for what?
I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa, or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice. So I'm waiting.
You son of a bitch! You tricked us!
Oh, he didn't figure it out. He had to get it spelled out. Guys, you guys are fucking idiots.
That stuff you were going on about is all bullshit!
Bullshit. Huh. I don't think so. Didn't I tell you I'd figured out another way to get out of here? This is it.
Why the hell would you do something like this?
Snake is dying.
Jumpy.
You did this just so you could go through the same door as June. That's it?
Dude, Junpei needs to die. Dude, this is hysterical.
So, who's it going to be?
Oh, Santa was furious. His face was red and flecks of spit flew from his lips as he spoke. Junpei closed his eyes calmly and then opened them again.
Santa, or Lotus and Clover?
Shit!
Let's go, Clover.
Huh?
Hello, Uru. Karen. Lotus leapt forward. She grabbed Clover by the sleeve and ran for Junpei in the door.
Fuck!
Caught by surprise, Santa froze for a moment, then shot forward like a bullet from a gun. Lotus had a head start, but Santa had the advantage in size and speed. Almost immediately, he passed Lotus and Clover.
Oh, no, wait!
Santa did not hesitate.
Ah!
He slammed his hand down on the red.
This is insane! This isn't right!
He glared at Junpei, his chest heaving.
Yeah, well, you may be right,
Junpei's voice was cold, but not without effort.
but...
I really had to stay with my girl toy, guys. He turned to the red and pulled the lever. With the sound of metal on metal, the door opened. It would only remain so for 9 seconds. There was no time to think.
Go.
Junpei and his 3 reluctant companions jumped into the door's gaping mouth one after another. No sooner did they enter than an ultimate familiar noise surrounded from their left wrists. The detonators had activated. Junpei looked back only once and saw Lotus and Clover on the other side of the closing door.
No!
They stood still stopped where they had been where they had been when Santa reached the red. The defeat and desperation on their faces tore at Junpei's heart. Then the door closed and they were gone.
You son of a bitch, Junpei! This isn't fair!
Why did Junpei do this? He knew. They've already been through like 3 puzzle rooms and figured out that the puzzle rooms all converge afterwards. He didn't need to fucking do this. Santa rammed on Junpei, lightning crackling in his eyes and his knuckles white.
Do you realize what you just did? You leave them out there, and they can't...
Shut it! That's enough!
It hadn't been Junpei that spoke, but Seven.
We gotta find the dead or none of this is gonna matter!
The clock was ticking. The dead was their only chance at survival, unless they could find it and deactivate their detonators.
We got less than a minute left! No time for screwing around! Get moving!
Oh, you're planning to get more Clopinanas? Hell yeah, way, that rules.
Damn it! You and I are not done yet, bastard!
They scattered and began to scour the room. The deactivation device was nowhere to be found.
Where the hell is it?
Corridors stretched out in 3 directions, but everyone was blocked off by a wall of metal. There was only one way out. One other door.
Over there! It's gotta be behind the door!
Seven ran for the door, a rusty iron thing. His large hands grabbed hold of the handle and pulled.
Damn, it's pitch dark inside.
Can't see a thing!
Junpei stuck his head through the door and looked around the room.
No, wait!
Almost immediately, he spotted the blinking red light on the right wall.
I found it! The dead's right over here!
He stepped into the room.
Ugh. What? The floor's slippery!
He stopped and glanced down at his feet. What was...
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
There's something...
Get over there!
Junpei felt Seven's heavy hand against his back and stumbled across the room. The other 3 piled in behind him. They all felt immediately that something was wrong. Nothing that could be easily identified, only a sense that something terrible shared the room with them. But there was no time to say so.
Quick! Get to the dead!
They all started running. In the dark, it was hard to tell where the wall was. All they could see was the tiny red light. Taking it over and over and over.
There it is!
In quick succession, they all slammed their hands against the scanner panel. Seven leaned against the wall, gulping air. As his breathing began to return to normal, he glanced at his left wrist and grunted.
It stopped. It stopped.
Junpei could hear him laughing in the dark, but could barely make out the larger man's face.
I don't think I'll ever get used to doing this.
Well, that just happened, guys. Am I right?
What the...
The sound of retching came from Santa's direction.
What the hell is this smell? This is vile. I'm gonna puke.
So desperate had they been in their race to the dead that no one had noticed the horrible smell that pervaded the room. It was a terrible, nauseating stench, like burnt and rotten meat. Adrenaline had drowned it out, but now it rolled over Junpei in waves, forcing itself into his nose with every breath he took.
Oh, you're right. Oh, this is...
He felt his stomach clench and bile rise up in his throat.
Let's get the lights on first. There's a switch over here.
The light that spilled in from the door barely illuminated a small switch plate next to the door. Slowly, with the toll of the last few minutes apparent in his gait, Seven walks toward it. He stopped as he got close and extended his fingers towards the switch.
Okay, guys, I'm flipping it on.
There was a soft click as the lights came on. Just as the light turned on, June took in a short breath and... A scream echoes through the room. Junpei's breath stopped in his throat. His heart ceased to beat. Time froze. His mind scrambled to make sense of what he saw before him.
What? Hey,
Oh, this is...
What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast rugged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. By the way, this narration is happening on the bottom screen of the gears, whereas the dialogue is happening on the top screen. Okay. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs. Slugs mentioned as gravity pulled them down to the wall, even as they dried to it. Dude, speaking of slugs, it was spitting today when I went out with my mum, and I saw a snail on the ground, and I got reminded of slugs. Yeah, it's spitting.
Looks like an explosion.
Seven's voice was low and strained.
Just like the knife man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gun.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lit nail to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in
The
pieces.
face is the worst.
Yeah, you can't even tell who it is.
Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza, though covered in tomato sauce. By the way, the game is loud. Okay. Let me... There. Wait, it's times like when you say that you've never seen a slug or a snail or a caterpillar outside is why me and Cheeky thought that you were a bubble child for like several months when we first met you. His clothes too were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the grey slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
Is that... Snake?
Santa's voice wavered as he spoke, his mouth dry.
Oh my god.
Finally, Junpei spoke.
Why did this happen?
No!
Suddenly June was screaming, her voice broken. It was an eerie scream, full of insanity and not entirely human.
No! No! No!
She shook her head violently and grabbed fistfuls of her own hair. Junpei could hear the sound of hair tearing.
Stop! Calm down.
He grabbed for her wrist,
Hey!
but as he did, June leapt up and ran towards the exit. You keep looking for caterpillars like they're hiding from you. Have you, like, Googled, like, when they're likely to be, like, around in your area?
Please! Get me out of here! You have to let me out of here!
She screamed at the door and her fist slammed against it with a hollow sound. Junpei could see drops of blood on her knuckles.
Why are you doing these horrible things to us? What did we do to deserve this?
June.
She screamed again, a desperate, mindless cry. Her fists flailed against the door.
Get me out of here! Please! Please! Just let me out!
June.
Junpei couldn't watch anymore. He ran to June and wrapped his arm around her, pulling the screaming girl away from the door.
Calm down.
Yeah, calm down. It's just a dead body.
No! Get off of me! Let me go! Let me go!
Please, calm down.
She scrambled for a moment, her legs skittering across the floor, but her resistance didn't last long. As suddenly as her outburst had begun, it was over. The manic energy disappeared and her body went limp in Junpei's arms. Yeah, wait, you'll see the caterpillars before the butterflies come out, right? Because they're baby butterflies. June collapsed towards the floor and Junpei knelt down with her. He felt drops of something warm and wet. Was she crying? A moment later, she began to sob. Her shoulders shook and great hot tears rolled down her face like rain.
We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be alright, June.
This piece of art, especially Akane's face, I feel like this definitely looks better on the DS. You know? Like one of those pieces where like they had to like where like the low resolution. Whatever.
It's going to be okay, Connie.
Her name was a whisper.
I'll be here with you, okay?
She nodded once.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Her trembling voice pulled at Junpei's heart. He stroked her hair gently. His face was so close to her. The scent of her hair was nostalgic.
Do you feel better?
Yes, but I'd like to stay here. For a little while, at least. Jumpy's body is so warm.
Guys, there's a dead body 3 feet away from you. Can you guys not try and start fucking right now? Several minutes passed before June's tears had dried. Junpei stood up. He bent down, put his arms under June's, and helped her to her feet. They didn't speak. Now, these guys have just been sitting there listening to these two this whole time. Neither did Seven or Santa. A person was dead. They had died in that room in a terrible way. Junpei knew that there was no way he could make himself forget that. There was no way any of them could forget it, but mourning would do no good. They spread out to search the room, but each felt as if their heart was made of lead.
We better get to it.
Yes! Yay! I'm excited to investigate. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to. LLR. Okay. What's this? Oh. Library, ruiner. Bucket. Pipe. Junpei reached for the broom, and as he grabbed it, he heard a soft voice from behind him. It was June.
The rabbit hutch.
Huh?
He turned around. June still looked sadly pale, but there was a smile on her face.
Oh, you just reminded me of it. The rabbit hutch, I mean.
How did I remind you of something like that?
Jumpy and the broom. You were always playing around with the broom in front of the rabbit hutch.
I was.
Don't you remember? You mean, you don't remember that summer either?
You wrote that whole theory about this letters. Not only did you forget about the letters, but you had to sit with the knowledge they had nothing to do with Snake. I'm gonna be honest, I think I only ever noticed one L, so I thought it was L and R, and when it's LL and R. She looked very sad. He shook his head. But also, why is it silent? Jesus. Save. Yes. No. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to exit and restart the game because of the stupid audio issue. Be right back. back. Do 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 do. How do I leave this game? There we go. Do 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 do. Dude, am I still? Yeah, I am still audible. Dude, every time these headphones come slightly unplugged from my laptop, it refuses to think about the fact. It refuses to let me, even if I plug them back in, it won't play any audio. It drives me crazy. Yeah, but listen. It happens like mid-sentence, so. They were in the 6th. I just wanted to be sure. Junpei and June had been assigned to take care of the classroom pets, the rabbits. Their chief duty was to clean the hutches every morning. On the final day of school before summer vacation began, Junpei overslept. He rushed to school and found June standing in front of the rabbit hutches. No sooner had Junpei arrived than June began to cry. He had no idea why until he looked behind her into the rabbit hutch. The first thing he saw was blood. The hutch was filled with the dead bodies of the rabbits. Even after their teachers and friends came to see what the commotion was, June couldn't stop crying. How could she cry over the dead rabbits when she was about 8? What a crazy guy.
Crying and crying until you came over. You held my hand and you looked very serious and you said, "Don't cry. I'm gonna catch the person who did this." After you told me that, I finally stopped crying.
Well, the real fun started after you quit crying. You told me we were gonna catch the killer together.
June smiled and a little flush of the life returned to her cheeks. God.
Then we decided that we'd ambush them.
Yeah, I remember.
The school also kept roosters and guinea pigs. Junpei and June had decided the murderer would likely return to finish off the rest of the animals. They would ambush the killer at night. Junpei and June hid behind the hutch at dusk and waited. It was a warm summer night. The quiet sound of crickets whispered through the air. As the sun went down, the stars began to wink at them from the sky, and June's Akane Kuroshiki's face. That night was something Junpei knew he would never forget as long as he lived.
The murderer never showed up. We waited for them all summer vacation, and they never showed up.
Yeah, but the animals didn't get attacked either. I think all that work amounted to something, you know?
He'd felt the same way, but it was good to hear her say it.
Although, you know, if you think about it, we were probably taking on a lot more than we could handle.
What do you mean?
She looked up at him, confused.
Come on, we were just kids. If whoever killed the rabbits had actually showed up, they probably would have had a knife or something. I mean, you must have been pretty worried, right?
I wasn't worried. Because you were there with me.
She blushed furiously.
Well, you know, no one else wanted to take care of the animals.
Clearly embarrassed, she tried desperately to change the subject.
I was the only one who asked to do it at first.
Yeah, well, you boys don't really want to bother with taking care of animals, you know.
Well, yeah, but you asked to do it after I did, didn't you?
If it wasn't the rabbits, they were going to make me do something else. You know how that school was. I figured it'd be better if I was working with somebody who wasn't too much of a loudmouth, right? Somebody who wasn't going to tell on me if I...
Really? That's why you volunteered?
Dude, why is he trying to be Tsundere now?
Yeah, it is.
He nodded quickly and much too earnestly, and then quickly looked away at something very important.
Really?
Of course.
That hadn't been the reason, of course. Dude, Cheeky, you know how in Dungeon Meshi, Kabru's two guys that he's madly in love with, Laios and Mithrin, are way beneath him, and he could do so much better, but he's not going to do any better because those people are his type. It's similar here, but Akane's just pathetic, so it doesn't feel good. I hate them. I hate how cringe they are. I hate them so much. They're good characters until they start this stupid flirting. He had asked to take care of the rabbit so that he could be near June. but it had been so long ago, he couldn't bring himself to tell her how he'd felt back then. It would be embarrassing. He took a quick breath to clear his head, tossed the broom up, and then snatched it out of the air. Again, Snake is dead about 3 feet away from you.
Well, we don't really have time to be walking down memory lane like this, you know? We've got to figure out a way out of this room. Otherwise...
Oh, sorry. For clarity's sake, Akane is way better, but it doesn't feel like she's choosing Junpei because he's her type. It feels like she's just, like, insane. For the clarification, Akane way out of Junpei's league, right? 100%.
Yes. I'm gonna look over there.
June nodded curtly and then turned and walked away.
I should get back to it myself. Ah! That's right. The pool of blood.
Junpei turned around and looked at the room. At Snake's body. Chunks of flesh and organs still lay on the floor.
Going on and on about old times right next to a corpse? What were we doing? Well, maybe it was because we're in this mess.
Despite such a situation, or perhaps because of it, the mind turned to the farthest thing from death that it could find. Rabbits dying. Yeah, Akane became a conspiracy nut, but Junpei's, like, mid. Still, Junpei couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt at wanting so desperately to live when Snake lay dead before him.
I have to survive, no matter the cost. I need to make sure she gets out too.
As he stared at the clumps of blackened flesh, all Junpei could think of was how much he wanted to live. Broom! Ooh. Pog! Toilet paper. Oh. Okay, there's a secret code there. Box. Luminol. Okay. We're gonna fucking clean up the blood? Hey Clover, we've got bad news and we've got good news and bad news. The good news is that we cleaned up the blood of your brother that was left after your brother exploded. The bad news is that your brother exploded. Okay, how's this toilet? Screwdriver! Woohoo! Dude, this is a gross looking toilet. Red key card! Woohoo! Shelf. Okay. Okay, let's screw it off the wall.
Hey, Junpei. You know why thermometers only go up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit?
I don't know how hot that is. Oh, thank God, the thing's in Celsius.
No, I can't say I ever thought about that.
At 100...
What the fuck did you just say? How do I look back at what they said? Oh, there we go. That'll do. 100, 107 degrees Fahrenheit, the cells in the human body start to die. The organs begin to shut down. The proteins in your cells start to harden.
It's like when you hard boil an egg. Even if you cool it down afterwards, it won't go back to being a raw egg.
That's actually... You can actually unboil an egg, it's just that you have to... It's like one of the only things that you can do it with. Hold on. Boil... Unboiling an egg. Yeah. Hold on. Look. Ignore. Look, you can do it. Step 1, you have to boil an egg. So yeah, you need... You can unboil eggs. You just need, like, urine for some reason. And then you have to spin it at 5,000 rotations per minute. Whoops. And you can unboil eggs. Okay. Unboil your egg. Look, see? You can do it. It's real. Let's have to basic, that's not an actual video. See? You guys looking at this? See, I told you. Okay.
In other words, it's dead. That's why thermometers don't go past 107. There's no point.
Okay, that's not even true. There's a point to measuring stuff beyond human limits. Why had Santa put that up, Junpei wondered.
Oh yeah?
Continue to work at the screw.
But it's pretty rare for a fever to get that high. Even viruses and stuff don't usually drive the body temperature up to 107.
Yeah, 107 is when it, like, is cooking your brain. Like, I mean, I'm assuming that's probably... Yeah, it is. Sorry, I just remembered that we even here we use Fahrenheit. Well, sometimes we use Fahrenheit for thermometers for fevers and stuff.
Of course, there are other external things that could.
Like what?
Well, let's see. Something like getting locked in a sauna, or getting thrown into an incinerator and burnt to death.
Yeah, I guess that would get a little hotter than 107 degrees Fahrenheit.
Junpei gave a short barking laugh. A moment later, the screw fell off. With a small tug, Junpei pulled the thermometer from the wall.
All right, I got it.
He looked up and saw Santa glaring at a blank section of wall.
Huh?
Nothing. Forget about it.
Santa spun around and walked away from Junpei.
What was that all about?
But as Junpei watched him go, he didn't look angry. He looked very, very sad. Doesn't seem to be anything on the back. Okay. Oh no, I used the screw. Okay. Oh, Oh wait, isn't the toilet paper? Oh no. No, yeah, the toilet paper isn't going to hint to that. Okay. I did once accidentally pour boiling hot water on my head accidentally while washing my hair once. Equals. Okay, the row is. Oops. 5. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Clearly. Oh. Command room. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't remember which position it's on. Oh! Left, left, right, left, right, left. Okay. Left, left, right, left, right, left. Yay! Jesus Christ. Yippee! I did it! Oh wait, hold on, was there something else in there? No. Okay, so none of those are pluses. Scytale Cipher, sure. Oh! Oh, thank you, Seven. I would never have thought of this. Six, 3, 4. Okay. So it's 6, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6, 3, 4, 4. 3, 4, 9, 1, 8, 5, 4. Oh. Whoops. 8, 5, 4. It's not that. I need to figure out what the thermometer is for. Okay. Oh, okay, you have to put the numbers together, okay. Sorry. Okay. That's times. Something. 8, 9, 10. Oh. 8, 19, 8, 19, 8, 19, 1776. Ooh. Yay! I did it! I found it! Yay! Outside of the shower room was a hallway that extended off to the left and right.
There's a large iron door at the end.
Let's take a look.
They'd moved a few steps toward the door when Junpei heard the sound of metal and metal.
Huh?
They turned around. Seven was doing something to the door of the shower room.
What are you doing, Seven?
Well, I figure maybe we might want to come back here sometime. So, I stuck the broom in there to keep the door from shutting. Alright, let's go.
With that, he stood up and began walking down the hallway. He brushed past Junpei and kept going. After a moment, the rest of them followed him. Before long, they had found themselves at the large iron door. They had only been there for a moment when June spoke up.
Jumpy, look!
He turned. There, on the right side of the hallway, was a piece of paper attached to the wall.
What's up?
What's that on the wall there?
Oh, I think it's
Junpei ran over and peeled it off.
a map of the ship's
Oh my.
interior?
It says C.
So it's the map for this floor then. We'll have time to study it later. Let's keep going for now.
Junpei folded the map and stuffed it in his pocket. Back at the door, the four of them lined up in front of her. Santa stepped forward. He grabbed hold of the door and then turned to look back at the rest of them.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded. Santa nodded back and threw the door open. All four of them let through.
What the?
You're shitting me.
It took only a moment for them to realise where they were.
We're back.
They had been there only a short time ago. Dude, I know, they keep giving us maps. It's not an open world game. The maps matter like 5 times throughout the whole game. It was the large hospital room filled with countless beds. Lotus and Clover looked up as they entered. Ace was there as well, although he looked as though he had only just woken up.
Clover! Lotus! And Ace! I'm glad you're all okay. Lotus? What are you...
The moment they spotted Junpei, Lotus and Clover headed straight for him. Kill him, guys. Kill him. As she neared him, Lotus drew back her hand and slapped him, open-palmed, across the face. Good.
How could you do this to us?
Her face was furious. She grabbed Junpei by the collar and shook him violently. Clover didn't touch him, but the hate in her eyes was no less potent. It was Seven who stopped them.
Knock it off! We got bigger shit to worry about right now.
His deep voice echoed across the massive room. Lotus glared at Seven, but let Junpei go after one last vicious shake.
What?
Go have a look. I stuck the screwdriver in the door. That door over there, the one without a number. As long as the screwdriver's there, it can't shut, so you can get in there. There's a shower room past there. I stuck a broom at the door there too. Anyway, go take a look.
Then you're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door?
Yeah, it's about the size of it.
Wait, what the hell is in there?
You'll know when you see it.
Dude, this is almost as cool as what Junpei did to them.
Fine, let's...
Lotus and Clover looked at one another for a moment, then nodded and stepped through the door. Come on, at least hold Clover back. By then, Ace had made his way to them, moving with the stiff, shuffling steps of someone who had only just awoken from a lengthy slumber.
My goodness. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head weakly.
Should I go as well?
Yeah.
Seven nodded.
Very well.
They could hold Clover back, be like, Lotus, you check it out. That shit's crazy. There's a dead body. And hey, Clover, just stay here. Clover, you're gonna want to stay here. Were you there, stream? We found, so basically the body in the shower is Snake's, and Snake is Clover's older brother, and he'd been missing, and she was looking for him, and we found him, and he had exploded. Ace followed Lotus and Clover with his stiff, tired gait. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time, it put him on edge. Oh, why Lotus slapped Junpei? Because he tricked Akane and Seven into opening the door with him, and then it was a race between Team Lotus and Clover versus Santa to see who else would be able to get in the door and who would be left back to die. And it's only coincidence that they were able to come back to meet them again. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Yeah, because you guys told her to go look at her brother's exploded body without warning her. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, Jude, and Lotus. He tricked them because instead of everyone being able to separate equally and everyone get through, but him and Akane would have to be apart for 5 whole minutes while they did their puzzle rooms. He was like, no, I need to kill these people. I need to leave these people to die as long as me and June get to stay together for this puzzle room.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door, and then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Junshin seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
I mean, what's the other explanation?
What?
Snake
wants?
just did that.
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Was Zero still on the ship with them? Of course he was. That was obvious.
But I don't...
Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought.
Where could Zero be hiding?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. Moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
He wants to be like the gruff, strong, trustworthy father figure. He's failing to realize that Seven is already the cooler, gruff, strong, trustworthy father figure. That's so true. Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the faces of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them?
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Clover looked up at Junpei and her face fell.
Don't believe me.
Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei's met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think that what he said was wrong. Perhaps the way he said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Because you guys told her to go there. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he'd said. Perhaps, he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin...
Clover,
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
But you have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Now that was a supervillain speech, Ace. You gotta stop doing that. Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time, her eyes were on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the colour of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then, in that horrible silence,
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. 7. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
7 and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving.
Our next destination is Mercury. Here we go.
They stood in front of the elevators next to the stairs that led them to the casino and the kitchen. Between the two elevators was a card reading with a Mercury symbol engraved on it. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury key card.
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I found it in the shower room.
Oh, I see. It's got the Mercury symbol.
And my earphones became slightly unplugged, which means I need to save the game, leave the game, and then start the game up again. Hey. Quit the game, yes. And then start the game up again. Yay, yippee! He does talk like an evil AI that should end every sentence with more ha ha ha. You're right. I should get new headphones. Yeah, but the thing is, wait, I don't want to spend money. He took a deep breath and slid the card through the reader. It made a small beep and the lights on the reader blinked to life.
Now we can go.
7 people, including Junpei, climbed onto the elevator.
Looks like there's only 2 floor buttons working.
C and bottom.
The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed.
Time to head down then.
Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly they began to move downward. Sometime later, all 7 of them stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
This is a numbered door.
Yeah, it's door 2.
Immediately they began to discuss who would go through it.
So who should go through the door this time?
We don't need to be discussing who we're leaving behind this time, right?
Right. It's set up so we'll be able to meet up again once we get through the numbered doors.
Then there's no need for arguments at this point.
We should figure out who's going in first.
Very well. Would anyone like to volunteer?
I'll do it.
The first to speak up was
I'll
7.
go too.
And I suppose I need to go too then.
Junpei followed suit, which meant Lotus was, by default, the third member.
Alright, we're taking off.
Dude, if I were them, the guy would be suspecting the matter with... Yeah, exactly. Junpei was like, I need to go through door 3. I must go through door 3. It's a compulsion. Like, I wanted to go through door 3 because I know about the other timelines, right? Junpei was like, I must go through door 3.
Okay, please be careful.
Jesus. You two are acting like you're married, you know that?
Oh,
June blushed. So did Junpei.
Don't be silly. Cut it out.
Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the lever on the red. The door opened. As they'd come to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side.
Alright, let's go.
Lotus was the first through the door.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
7 was next. You're the one that was telling me to always...
Where the hell?
I don't see it!
There it is!
If this is the surgery room, then yes, but you're the one that was like, oh, you have to do it. You're the one that was like, you have to do everything every time.
It stopped.
And also, I don't know if does this lead to the
I'm
same
not sure
ending?
it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before... Alright. This hallway's pretty short. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Yeah, Cheeky, does this lead to the submarine ending again? I need this info.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I...
Alright, let's get started.
Yes, no problem.
Check the chart. Yes, this just leads to the submarine ending. Alright. There's a difference. Okay. Well, guys, that just means we all got murdered, about to get murdered by axes again, so... Epic! Okay. Okay, what's the time? How long have I been going? I mean, I can't have new stuff that it counts, right? Even if I just got the same ending again. Right, guys? Right? Oh. Yeah, okay, if this is the same ending again, which is pretty epic.
Sure thing.
No. Okay.
I'll take this first one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed now. I got the new info. that I was pretty happy about Akane's insane rabbit story. I finally got to go through door 3. And next time, because I'll just stream again whenever Zach doesn't stream. I think next time I will do this one. Cool. Okay. Okay. Right night, everyone. Let's play maths games later again. Wait, what time like Snake is there for? Snake might. Yeah, I'm excited to see Snake again. I'm excited to talk to him and stuff. Okay.